What's up everyone, Fire First here, and today I am finally bringing you the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. I've never heard anything about this game. I mean, I know the game existed, had no idea what it is. I never really, I wasn't ever really into the one that first came out in 2013, I think it was. All my friends were into it. I never watched it. I've never seen anything about this game. The only thing I know is that people love it, and I've never seen anything. But I'm going to do this really quick. Okay, I'll just keep it as this. So, without wasting any time, let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Hello, Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor.
So like Gary's mod.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Do I play now? Whoa. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
It's so bright outside. I'm gonna assume all the doors are locked. I guess just follow. I hate Mondays. Yeah, that's classic. What does that say? Sales? Oh, that's just sales, okay.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Why did the music stop? Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you. That's kind of funny. That sounds like real life. What? Using slides to make sure everything is okay. Huh. Whoa.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Okay. I saw it on the whiteboard. There's something called like Game Chris out of the broom closet.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Can I go down? Why is it red down there? I know there's a whole thing where it's like you can either follow the path or don't. But I'm curious.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
12,
and for that matter,
2,
these rooms were starting
4.
to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
A, B, 11, 12. Is there something different?
I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
What the fuck?
Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Clock stopped ticking.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real.
Wait, what the fuck's going on?
I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
What?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Is there something different? Can I open? Awaiting input. Okay. I'm so confused. What the hell happened? I guess...
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, is there something different? Like, get Chris out of the broom closet, hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy.
Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
That was different. Do I walk? I'll go upstairs. I'll just go upstairs. The hell? Executive bathroom. To be rich. Is it a crime to commit crimes? Isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Extreme bathrooms. What is that? I can't read that. Time magazine with an actual time thing. It's cool. Okay. The fuck? Assuming that's the office, but what's over here? Business strategy. Shooting pandas. Jesus Christ. What? I can... Wait, I could... Fuck. I don't know. What if I go up? This game's bizarre. Okay, so if I just go up, it's not gonna do anything. Okay. Well, let's go into this office, I guess.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I was just testing to see if it went something like, if I did something different, like backwards. So 284.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code.
Why did everything just...
Luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Can I just leave? Like... Okay. Oh, it's piano? Okay, well. The hell? Got a runny nose. Okay, I'm getting like Portal vibes. Okay, sip my drink while I wait.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
I'm scared. Wait, I could go back up. Like, could I? I'm not going to press it, but like... Dude, I'm almost half tempted to go up. Like, I don't like this.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
If light is on, call exit 914. I'm gonna keep number 914. I don't trust that. Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
What the hell?
Horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
What if I press it again? I can't. Okay, Is there other buttons? What is this?
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them.
Oh, there's our office.
In this place where freedom meant nothing.
What is happening?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Whoa.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I saw button 3 over here. Can I press this? What's that? I see something up here. I can't get to it. I see this door here. Guess it can't be opened. What about you? Wait, are there 5 buttons in this room? Okay, well, I'm gonna just go through here. Whoa.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
What?
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
No way, this is just gonna end this way.
No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
I just got 2 achievements. Beat the game and get my first achievement. Alright, well, I'm going to have to end this episode here. Thank you guys so much for coming to my part 1 of the Stanley Parable Ultra Lux Edition. If you enjoyed seeing my reactions, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.